inside the East Avenue side of the building, where you'll enter the new concourse level, or the concourse, but the expanded concourse level. At this stage, you'll see the proposal of additional, display space, anything from Hall of Fames to retail to new concessions. At the same time, widening the concourse to handle the existing people that sit in the lower bowl. As you turn now, what you're looking at is the existing concourse straight ahead, where those few Ranger pictures are sitting. That's your existing. Now you're heading upstairs. This is the new concourse to the upper level. So the glass is on the outside of the arena, and on the inside where you'll have your washrooms and concessions and such. You're heading down towards the current restaurant end, that is the south end of the building. As we turn the corner, you'll be able now to get a look at what the arena would look like from the inside. Okay, so the blue area, again, it's not about colors, this is what the new seating would look like. So what we've tried to accomplish in that little video is to show how we maintain the integrity of what we have. We have a very unique and special arena. In a perfect world, you can duplicate it in a new facility, but at the same time provide, upgraded amenities for our fans, and most importantly, financial commitment. In developing our financial commitment, there were some restrictions or guidelines established by our organization, and that was to ensure that when it was done, we would remain fiscally successful in both good and leaner times. It also recognizes the community that supports us and our responsibility to do everything we can to make our product more accessible. The plan allows the Rangers to maintain their ability to be a financial contributor to our community outside the walls and beyond. And we believe it's a unique opportunity due to the absence of private ownership and the generosity really of a few citizens almost 50 years ago that had a vision of being a community team that we can build upon. We can reinvest the financial support of our fans directly back into the community by expanding the facility that both the Rangers and non-hockey fans will be able to enjoy for the next 30 years. Source of funding. It is important for us to be as transparent as possible and ensure our community understands how the proposed funding would work. Initial funding is required to be made by the city. We assume that the debt and with any federal or provincial funding could, we assume this debt could be reduced by any potential federal or provincial funding that has been obtained. The Rangers are offering to provide funding for both debt and interest costs. This funding will not come from existing revenues, but rather from the new revenues that occur from the seat expansion. It's the same principle we used in 2003 for the score clock, and again in 2008 with the seat expansion. The new seats will directly raise money that could not be obtained without the seats being installed. New fans who cannot get in the building today will have the ability to get in the building and ultimately repay the capital costs. What we are asking, certainly not standing up here today, hopefully you're happy about this, asking for $50,000 or $100 differences to meet our 4 goals, okay? And that was our, we think we have a business plan that supports enough financing to do the expansion model. So that's the direction we're going. It achieves all our goals. Admittedly, it doesn't give you a brand new, fancy, whatever you want to call it, but at the same time, the investment is significantly lower. So to say that we prefer one over the other, no, we would support either. But all we're trying to make clear is that we have a certain amount of revenue that we can generate and contribute to this project, and it obviously contributes a lot more to the expansion